Hello everyone, Silent here, and welcome back to another episode of Bugrock of the Week. Today we're going to be going over a bunch of different Bedrock Edition bugs that you absolutely hate and despise. I've dug around the internet and went through the years of history of Bedrock Edition, and these are the bugs that I feel almost everyone hates with a supreme passion, as they can completely ruin the game in a multitude of different ways, and some of these might have even stopped you from playing Bedrock Edition entirely. This video isn't meant to be negative in any way, shape, or form. Instead, it's meant to show just how far we've come over the years of Bedrock Edition, and in fact, I made an entire other video right before this one dedicated to Bedrock Edition bugs that we love and that have made us enjoy Bedrock Edition a whole lot more. So if you're interested, you can check out that video. It's linked in the iCards and everywhere else as well. For a couple of years there on Bedrock Edition, you could not fight a Wither legitimately without it becoming invisible and or immortal. How this would happen is anytime you would die to the Wither or just in general unload it, it had a fairly high chance of becoming immortal. Like, you literally could not kill it without using peaceful mode or commands, and it could also become invisible as well, just completely wrecking your world. Rest in pieces to everyone who tried to fight a Wither in this state. There have been so many tragic events from these immortal invisible Withers. On the same token of immortal bosses, the Ender Dragon could so easily duplicate anytime you died in the end dimension while fighting it. So if you die to one dragon, you could come back to 2 dragons, and then it just escalates from there, and you could end up with like 15 dragons. It was an absolute nightmare, and I know for a fact that this caused so many people to just completely abandon the end dimension or stop playing Bedrock Edition entirely. Combine this with the fact that Dragon's Breath could almost instant kill anybody with any amount of gear or potions, and add on top of that another bug that made the Ender Dragon completely immune to damage, you seriously have a bad time. Like, Ender Dragons were just basically broken in every way, shape, and form. While we're here in the end dimension, this bug is actually still around. Sometimes when you teleport through an end gateway, it can drop you directly into the void. Naturally, it's supposed to put you somewhere safe where you don't instantly die, but sometimes it'll drop you just straight into the void, or like really close down to the void, and there's not really anything you can do about it. The only workaround to this current bug is to actually build a platform underneath all of your end city gateways on the outer end city islands and on the main end island as well. But of course, that requires you to know which ones are broken and want to drop you into the void. So I would suggest just putting all of your gear into an ender chest before going through any gateways. This next one is a bit obvious, but it should strike a nerve for anyone that is coming to Bedrock Edition from Legacy Console Edition. The randomness and general glitchiness and just unpredictability of Bedrock Edition Redstone has been the bane of so many people's existence over the years. Even something as simple as this circuit right here is completely random and usually won't do the same thing twice in a row. And there are so many examples of Redstone on Bedrock Edition just not functioning in ways that you would think it should, like this right here, and just tons and tons and tons of other examples. We could be here literally all day, but this one goes out to all of you who have been frustrated by the randomness and the glitchiness and just the in general weirdness of Bedrock Edition Redstone. I'm pretty sure I've made like 3 other bug rocks on randomness and glitchiness of Redstone and just general bugs, and like probably 12 bug rocks in general that include some form of Redstone glitchiness. There is like 9 infinite issues. Of course, nowadays we do understand a lot more about how these systems work, but back in the day, especially coming from Legacy Console Edition, it was a proper mess. Another one that I know has been driving people absolutely insane for years on Bedrock Edition is block lag, and this happens usually whenever you have any form of unbreaking on your tools, a bad connection to the realm or server that you're playing on, or if the game just decides that it doesn't really like you that day. Now, lucky for us, there is actually a fix that has been implemented onto Bedrock Edition dedicated servers, and we should see this fix coming to realms and single player here soon as well. So the age of block lag is nearly behind us, and we can finally mine in peace. wrapping back around to the end dimension for a second, there was a time in 1.9 called the corruption update by the community, and that is because anytime you would go through an end city gateway on an old world, basically your entire outer end city islands would be corrupted. It was a really, really bad time, and I'm not sure if this is actually fully fixed or not. It's a little bit ambiguous at the moment, but I haven't seen any reports of it happening in a very long time, so here's hoping that this one is behind us. Thinking about it, the end dimension really had a lot of bugs back in the day, didn't it? Jeez. Another honorable mention here is just the massive amounts of overworld corruption that have happened in previous updates, such as the corruption lines that can rip through your entire world from north to south. I know we've lost many, many great players to these corruption updates, and it's quite sad. This next one is kind of an ongoing epidemic in the Minecraft community, and that is widespread, super easy duplication glitches, and it's honestly just a little bit ridiculous, especially if you're playing on a realm or a server or something, and you're trying to have a legitimate economy. People just go ahead and dupe a bunch of things, and it kind of ruins a lot of things. It takes all the fun out of Minecraft. It can really ruin the game for a lot of different people, and it's a very slippery slope. If you ever, get into duping, then you might just end up getting completely demotivated from playing Minecraft because everything becomes way too easy, and there's really no point in trying anymore, right? So, yeah, be careful with it. Don't try it because, it's a very, very slippery slope. And if you do happen to find a duplication glitch, either by looking around on the internet or just playing Minecraft in general, make sure to report it as a private bug report on the bug tracker. That way, only the developers will find it. Or you can send it to me directly via DMs or something, and I'll get it reported for you. There was a time around 1.10 of Bedrock Edition where if you had anything in your inventory that was enchanted, even like a single tool with enchantments on it, opening your inventory would cause extreme stuttering and lag, and this would compound the more enchanted things that you had in your inventory. So a fully enchanted set of armor and tools and weapons would lag out your inventory for like 2 to 3 seconds, and you could lag out your inventory for like up to 30 to 40 seconds the more enchanted things that you had in your inventory. This was around for like a month and a half, I believe, and it was the bane of existence in the early parts of Truly Bedrock Season 0. And who can forget the beautiful crafting bugs that delete your hard-earned items when you're trying to craft them? So there's 3 different ones that you might remember. The most recent of which I believe is the honey crafting, where if you crafted honey blocks, then you would either lose your bottles or you wouldn't get a honey block in general. Pretty annoying thing when trying to live in the bees update. And then there's also an update where if you try to mass craft items such as melons or anything else, then a significant portion of your items would get deleted. So instead of getting like a whole stack of melons, you would get like 48, for example. And of course, then the stonecutter could also delete a bunch of items if you tried to craft using it too. Overall, there's been a variety of crafting bugs over the year that delete your stuff, but for the most part, I believe all of them have been fixed. So I don't really have any footage for this one since I don't own a console anymore. However, I know that the console versions of Bedrock Edition, including Switch and PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, etc., all have some pretty significant and terrible lag issues, just like general unplayability. The consoles of Minecraft have always been kind of neglected in that way, and they always seem to get the less refined updates. I know I haven't really covered it in this series, but there's a ton of lag issues and unpredictabilities and unreliabilities, random crashes, and all kinds of other things that make the console versions significantly less fun to play. And yeah, this is just kind of a thing that we kind of gotta wait and see what happens and hope that Mojang can improve it over time. This one might seem kind of minor compared to everything else in today's video, but there was a couple of updates where light wouldn't go across the chunk borders. So you'd have some really bright areas, and then directly next to that would just be pitch blackness, and that would allow mobs to spawn where normally they shouldn't. And I'm sure a fair few people have rage quit by getting blown up from creepers when they absolutely should not have. It also just makes everything look really disgusting looking, and just in general really glitchy looking. Lighting updates and lighting glitches are some of the worst looking bugs in Minecraft in general. And for a bonus bug, this is my least favorite bug in all of Bedrock Edition at the moment, as it completely ruins so many different types of storage systems that we really need for the more efficient farms. So as you can see, we have a hopper here, or a hopper minecart, and this hopper has all 5 slots filled up with just just a random gold ingot. Of course, the only thing that this hopper can pick up is another gold ingot because all of these slots in it are full. As you can see, it can pick up gold all day long. However, the bug is that if it has multiple item types above it, then it won't pick up anything, even if it should be able to. So as you can see, it just has a couple of random items on top of it. If we throw some gold on top of it, it's not going to pick up the gold. It's just going to sit there. This breaks a surprising number of sorting systems, and I'm surprised it's not a bigger deal in the Redstone community. So make sure you upvote this one. It's one of the few bugs in today's video that's actually still around and has a real impact on players everywhere. And those are a bunch of different Bedrock Edition bugs that you most likely hate, despise, and loathe. If you think I missed anything in today's video, then of course let me know in the comment section down below which ones you don't like on Bedrock Edition, and we can have a nice little civil conversation about it. Make sure you check out the video about bugs that you love about Bedrock Edition, and if you're new here, then consider subscribing. That way you don't miss future episodes and future videos on the channel. If you haven't already, then make sure to leave a like on the video as well, because that really does help out the video and the channel an absolute ton. And otherwise, I'll see you guys down in the comment section and in the next one. Thank you again for watching, and then there was silence.